Everyone, please be seated. Greetings. I am Michelle Alexandre, Dean of Stetson University College of Law and Professor of Law. Welcome, honored guests, students, faculty, family members, spouses, partners, and friends. And most importantly, graduates. Welcome to our May 2021 commencement ceremony. Let's hear it for our graduates. Today is a unique celebration as we recognize the classes of December 2020 and May and August 2021. We are delighted that you could be with us today in person for this celebration. First, I would like to acknowledge our active duty military personnel and our veterans in this graduating class, in our faculty, and in our audience. Please stand so that you may be recognized. Thank you for your service. Let me take a moment to introduce those on stage with me and those who are part of the procession. We are honored to have with us Dr. Christopher Wilkie, President of Stetson University, Dr. Noel Pinter, Executive Vice President and Provost of Stetson University, Jason Bent, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Professor of Law, Darrell Wilson, Associate Dean for Faculty and Strategic Initiatives and Professor of Law, the worthy of being Professor of Law Emeritus, Dr. Jacinda Hudson, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, and our commencement speaker, who will be with us via recorded message, the Honorable Edwin Cameron. I would also like to recognize those honored guests who, due to COVID restrictions, unfortunately could not be part of this in-person ceremony. They did graciously send a personal video to the graduates. We invite you to view videos of the graduation and of their message on the webpage. The messages are from Maureen Boykiron Evans, Chair of the Board of Trustees, Greg Coleman, Chair of the Board of Overseers, Kevin Iorato, President of Stetson Lawyers Alumni Association, and Corey Roberts, your fellow graduate and the outgoing Student Bar Association President. As many of you may know, Stetson Law has a pro bono requirement for graduation. Our December 2020 and May 2021 graduates and students volunteered more than 25,000 hours of community service. Many of our graduates took our pro bono requirement to the next level by continuing to serve their communities and society after they had far exceeded the required number of hours, using the skills and tools learned at Stetson. And they doubled down on that commitment during the pandemic, creating new ways to be of use to the community. The world is changing fast, and communities around the nation, more than ever, need attorneys committed to serve them through pro bono service. I am proud to say that our graduates have answered that call to service and are leading the way to help those in need. You will recognize those graduates by their blue cord representing our Blues Award for pro bono service. Please give them a hand. Graduates, I'm so very proud of that you will continue to serve your communities with distinction and professionalism as a Stetson lawyer. This year at orientation, I told our group of fresh-faced 1Ls that they would be forging a new path that no one had walked before. I impressed upon them that empathy, grit, and resilience are the pivotal foundation of a good attorney. I talked to them about the pioneer lawyers who paved the way for them. Lawyers, like the first woman to be admitted to practice in Florida in 1898, Louise Rebecca Pennell, and the first woman to graduate from Stetson Law in 1908, Mary Stewart Howarth Hewitt. And lawyers like the first Black woman to obtain a law degree in the United States in 1872, Charlotte E. Ray. And of course, the transformative lawyers like President Abraham Lincoln, who were called to serve as presidents of the United States at pivotal times in our history. Graduates, as I thought about what I wanted to say to you today, I found myself reflecting on those words because I realized that you are the embodiment of the qualities that it takes to rise to this moment in our history. You, 2021 graduates, have spent half of your law school career in a pandemic. You have had to adapt and transcend conditions in a national landscape for which there was no blueprint. You faced it all and excelled. As a result, you now know what it is like to successfully complete one of your life's biggest challenges, despite the immense hurdles that were placed on that path. You have done it. This year, you have shown that resilience, that Stetson law grit, and a special breed of dogged commitment. I am so proud of who you are as humans, scholars, and legal minds. In answering the call to become an attorney, you are beginning your life's purpose. You now have the tools to be change agents, justice warriors who can transform the world. So today, we celebrate you, your graduation and your accomplishments. We take this moment to cherish all that you have done, and we feel hope and excitement in all that you will do. Please join me in giving a round to the graduates again. I now invite President Roki to the podium.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I know it's warm out there, but we're going to make some noise here because it takes an awful lot of wonderful people to make a commencement like this in person possible, including our wonderful folks out on the periphery, our faculty, our parents, our loved ones, and of course, our incredible students who have made it through to this very important moment in an exceptional year. Let's make some noise for the class of 2021. We gathered today to celebrate the accomplishments of our students who have rightfully earned their Juris Doctor and other advanced law degrees. You have made it, and you've made it to the end of a remarkable journey, literally unlike any other before you. As you join the Stetson Alumni Network and become part of an enduring community of Stetson law graduates, contemplate just for a moment where you were at this time last year. You're about to face your last year of law school, and a little over a year ago, I was named by our Board of Trustees as Stetson's 10th president. I imagine we both looked forward to the year ahead with a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation, and frankly, with some justifiable anxiety. And yet, you are here. You made it. You made it through lockdowns, online learning, virtual meetings, bad audio, lost internet connections, canceled bar exams, masks, hand washing, physical distancing, surveillance testing. Not only did you endure, you made it. Congratulations. Your friends, families, and faculty are assembled here to celebrate you, and I believe deep in my heart that this is a very special graduation, because you achieved your degree and you did it this year. You were not only tested in the classroom, but ultimately by life. For me, and for maybe many of you, it would have been impossible to endure or even thrive this past year without one thing: kindness. Since I first stepped onto Stetson's campus, I have quoted the wisdom of Mr. Rogers, childhood educator and television personality, who said there are 3 ways to ultimate success. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. The third is to be kind. So when Dean Alexandre, the administration, and I first started the work and planning for resumption of classes in Gulfport and DeLand, we made a very conscious decision that everything we did, everything we planned, would be done with kindness, with empathy, and with shared ownership. So today, as I congratulate you for becoming part of the rich tradition of Stetson Law graduates who have gathered in this very same spot, I ask you today to consider the small and large acts of kindness you may have received. As you take the countless hours you have given in classrooms, in courtrooms, clinical experiences, moot court competitions, as you take all these experiences out into the world and into your careers, I ask that you consider repaying whatever kindness you may have received with whatever kindness you may give. Why? Kindness not only matters, it enables us to listen, to engage with others unlike ourselves, and to consider paths we can forge together to make our community, in fact the world, a better place. The mission of Stetson University College of Law is to be a dynamic and supportive scholarly community whose faculty and students will have a meaningful and far-reaching impact on the law, the profession, and society. Here at Stetson, you have learned the law and the skills required to apply it to legal practice and to do so with integrity and with professionalism. I ask today that you add kindness to your practice. As you grow and thrive, I challenge you to help those around you to thrive, to offer small acts of kindness to your clients, partners, institutions, organizations, and to those that you love. Ultimately, this is how you will become the lawyer you set out to be, serving justice wherever life takes you. Let's really hear it for our Stetson University College of Law class of 2021.
President Roque, on the recommendation of the faculty and students at the College of Law, and with the approval of the Board of Trustees of Stetson University, I present Justice Cameron to receive the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws. This year, we chose a well-deserved honorary degree recipient who resides in South Africa. Due to COVID restrictions and health safety guidelines, Justice Cameron could not be with us in person. We will send Justice Cameron his honorary degree and hear his videotaped message after President Roque reads the citation. President Roque?
As Stetson University's 10th president, it is my distinct honor and privilege to award this honorary degree to Justice Cameron. You are in for a treat. His remarks are remarkable. Justice Cameron, you have distinguished yourself as a tireless advocate for social justice, particularly for racial and LGBTIQ equality, and to destroy the stigma and unjust discrimination for those living with HIV/AIDS. You attended Stellenbosch University, the University of Oxford, where you were a Rhodes Scholar and earned a Bachelor of Arts in Jurisprudence and the Bachelor of Civil Law, and the University of South Africa, where you earned a Bachelor of Laws. You hold honorary doctorates in law from King's College London, the University of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, Oxford University, the University of St. Andrews, Stellenbosch, and Sussex. As a young lecturer and human rights lawyer in the 1980s, You were unafraid to not only question but outright criticize the establishment that was committing human rights atrocities. You fought against the enactment of the most profound form of racial prejudice the legal system has known, apartheid. You taught human rights law and practiced as an anti-apartheid barrister, defending African National Congress members accused of treason and appearing in several celebrated land tenure and forced removal defenses. During your time working with the Center for Applied Legal Studies, your practice spanned a variety of legal issues, but perhaps most importantly, you co-drafted the Charter of Rights on AIDS and HIV, co-founded the AIDS Consortium, and founded the AIDS Law Project. You were the first senior South African official to come out as proudly gay and state publicly that you are living with HIV/AIDS and have campaigned tirelessly for prevention, testing, affordable treatment, and an end to stigma. Your efforts helped ensure South Africa had the first constitution in the world that emphatically included protection against discrimination on the ground of sexual orientation. President Nelson Mandela appointed you to the High Court in 1994 and thus began a 25-year judicial career. You were elevated to the Supreme Court of Appeal in 1999 and to the Constitutional Court in 2008. You had many well-known seminal judgments on anti-corruption, defamation, and free speech prior to your retirement in 2019. You have been called, quote, one of South Africa's new heroes and the personification of the intersection of health, egalitarianism, and justice in one man, end quote. In light of your ceaseless efforts to speak truth to power, lift up the downtrodden and the oppressed, and bring hope and acceptance to those living under the weight of stigma, and under the authority vested in me by Stetson University's Board of Trustees, I proudly present you with the Honorary Doctor of Laws degree. Please join me in congratulating Justice Cameron. Let's roll the tape.
Good day, everyone. It is a very great joy for me to be able to address you on your commencement day. For me, this is a first. Stetson University College of Law is the very first institution at which I'm privileged to speak on commencement day. Let me start by first and most important things. Congratulations on your achievement in gaining your law degrees today. These congratulations are not a mere formality. On the contrary, what a year you have been through. This past extraordinary year with the COVID pandemic has been so disturbing, so crammed with unexpected griefs and difficulties and challenges, that for you to have got through it all is a significant achievement. Second, I want to talk a bit for your commencement day about your chosen field and your prospective profession, which is the law. In both our countries, South Africa and the United States, the law is under severe challenge. The question is this: is the legal system's role to protect privilege and to sustain deep patterns and structures of inequality and injustice? Or does the law offer us something more? Does the law have a role in empowering people, in safeguarding their dignity, in affording them opportunities for human flourishing? In short, what is the law's role in advancing social justice in your country and in mine? Both our countries' history with the law teaches us something. It is that the law can be a double-edged sword. It can be used as an instrument of oppression to strip people of their rights and freedoms. Or, more nobly, it can be used as an instrument to enhance human capabilities and opportunities, to secure rights, to protect freedoms, and to afford dignity. My personal experience as a lawyer, as an activist, and as a judge have shown me firsthand both these conflicting sides of the law. And as you enter the legal world today, as bright and willing and engaged young lawyers, my message to you is double. First, use the law for good. And second, more importantly, never lose faith in the capacity of the law to do justice. Use the law to defend, to vindicate, and to fight for the good. On this path, you will not only be useful to many others, but you will also find meaning, value, and inspiration in your professional life as a lawyer. Let me tell you first a bit about the dark side of the law. I started as a practicing lawyer during the darkest days of apartheid in South Africa. Segregation was viciously enforced. Black South Africans had to carry passes. Most jobs, opportunities, and the best institutions were reserved for people like me, whites only. It was in this South Africa that I joined other lawyers who were determined to use the law against apartheid. For apartheid was conspicuously a system of legal oppression. Every unjust law, every exclusion, every injustice was embodied in detailed legal prescripts and enforced with ruthless official harshness. The rich heritage of public interest lawyering that I joined as a young lawyer was rooted in the legal practice of one of the moral giants of our time, Nelson Mandela. He was a lawyer. Despite the depravities of apartheid, he never, ever lost his faith in the law. He believed that apartheid distorted the law's true function, which was to uphold rights and dignity. Just as with your NAACP and the ACLU in your country, enterprising and inventive lawyers could win sometimes major, sometimes minor victories for their clients. So the law, for instance, fostered black trade unions, which offered us real chances as young lawyers to improve employment conditions, to secure workers' jobs, to safeguard workplace security, and to strengthen bargaining. One of the organizers I worked with was a young lawyer named Cyril Ramaphosa. Today, he is the president of my country. We also managed to find engagement and interest and deep challenge in our work as anti-apartheid lawyers. It was particularly exciting and humbling for me as a young white person to meet for the very first time outspoken and articulate black South Africans, black people who were determined to secure our country's liberation from white supremacism. I learned a lot of lessons. One particularly valuable one was this: never, ever condescend to those you serve as a lawyer. Often they know more and better than you, the lawyer. At a personal level, it was also an exciting and dangerous time for me. Just as I was starting my legal career, I decided to come out as a proudly gay man. Never again would I ever apologize for something that was intrinsic to my humanhood. Yet apartheid South Africa was deeply homophobic. Police raids, entrapments, arrests, prosecutions, violence, much like in your country at that time. For 1986, the US Supreme Court in Bowers versus Hardwick, by majority, approved the power of states to criminalize adult men in consensual sex in private. That offensive horror was removed only in 2003 in Lawrence v. Texas. But a terrible shadow fell over my proudly gay life and my work as an LGBTIQ equality lawyer. I became infected as a young man with HIV. Being diagnosed with HIV was devastating because there was no treatment for AIDS. So it was a certain death sentence. I would never turn 40. I would never see a democratic South Africa. I would never fulfill my dream of becoming a judge in a democratic South Africa. Worse, though, was the shame and stigma I felt. For years, then President Ronald Reagan in the US refused to even mention the word AIDS. His silence spoke volumes. He said, gay men deserved what they are getting. They deserve to get sick and to die of AIDS. Those were difficult years, but I found hope and meaning despite it all in my legal work. This way, I met people very, very different from myself. I met black women from rural areas, women whose husbands were migrant workers on South Africa's gold and other mines. Working with them, I realized that my shame about HIV had nothing to do with the fact that I was gay, because my black women clients experienced the same sense of shame. So I became involved in campaigning for justice and for rationality in dealing with AIDS. So my work as an anti-apartheid lawyer working in AIDS and also for LGBTI equality sustained me with focus and inspiration even during my life's most difficult years. At very long last, the apartheid government was forced to negotiate with the black liberation movements that for decades it had exiled and suppressed. I became involved in negotiations for a new non-racial democratic South Africa. The foundation of our country's future was a brand new constitution, one that enshrined equality and the rule of law, and most importantly, an aspirational set of rights enshrined in the Bill of Rights. Key to our new constitutional order was Nelson Mandela. After 27 years in prison, the apartheid government released him, and 4 years later, he became our country's first democratic president. President Mandela symbolized our country's ambitious hopes and high aspirations. At the heart of the Constitution that he symbolized was the promise of human dignity and equality. In addition, we managed to secure a world first in that promise of equality. The two words that for the first time appeared in any constitution in the world, sexual orientation. Just months after we became a democracy, President Mandela appointed me, an openly and proudly gay man, as a High Court judge. It was the fulfillment of my deepest treasured ideal, to hold office as a judge in a free, non-racial country committed to equality, justice, human dignity, and freedom. But there were shadows. HIV was closing in on me. The virus was insidiously working against my life and well-being. 3 years after I became a judge, I was desperately sick with AIDS. I faced certain death, but I survived. That's why I'm here with you today, and that's why I feel enormous joy in sharing your special occasion with you. On the salary of a judge, I could buy my life back. I was able to gain access to the near miraculous drug combinations of antiretrovirals. Less than 2 weeks after I started on ARVs, I knew that my life had been given back to me. From being terminally ill, I felt my life forces within me return. The medications had brought the virus to a dead stop. My body eagerly started to recover. My energy and joy for life returned. Since then, because of ARVs, for more than 20 years, I've had the joy and privilege of leading a full and vigorous life. That, as I've said, is part of my joy in being able to be with you at this wonderful commencement today. But while my privileged access to healthcare saved my life, millions of poor people in Africa were dying. Most of the world's people living with AIDS and HIV are in Africa. They could not afford to pay the extortionate prices the pharmaceutical companies wanted for their drugs. A young man, visionary young man called Zaki Ahmed, started the Treatment Action Campaign. The TAC challenged the outrageous premise that drug companies' profits should be above human lives in Africa. Without access to ARVs, tens of millions of poor Africans would die, completely unnecessary deaths. The TAC tackled this problem and they triumphed over drug company greed. They brought the drug prices down. They made the drugs affordable for everyone in Africa. But that was not the end of their struggle. An unexpected nightmare overshadowed the triumph of drug pricing. President Mandela's successor was a proud and powerful man, President Thabo Mbeki. He was irrationally offended by the fact that the only mass epidemic of heterosexual AIDS anywhere in the world was in Africa. He rejected what the scientists, the doctors, the epidemiologists told him, that this was a viral illness that could be treated with ARVs. He claimed this was a racist theory. AIDS was not caused by a virus. It was caused by poverty in Africa. Well, today, at your commencement, this denial of science and reason may not surprise you. You in the United States are only too grievously familiar with presidential denialism of scientific facts. You are sadly familiar with fake news, distortions, and undermining of scientific truth in a global epidemic. In South Africa, President Mbeki's denialism caused hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people to die unnecessarily. But the Treatment Action Campaign fought and fought and fought. They used the law. They went to court. And in a momentous decision, the country's highest court unanimously ruled that President Mbeki had to start making ARVs available. Grudgingly, his government complied. And today, my country has the world's largest publicly provided ARV treatment program. More than 5 million people like me owe their lives to ARVs. We are healthy and well because of the benefits of scientific progress and human reason. Never forget that. But those benefits the TAC and its allies had to fight for. They had to struggle for them using the Bill of Rights, the freedom of protest, of association, of movement, and most importantly, the right of access to courts, the rule of law. The fight against President Mbeki's denialism and drug companies profiteering on AIDS are poignant reminders of what you as young people, you as determined, principled, visionary young lawyers can achieve under the rule of law with a robust Bill of Rights. Well, let me conclude and thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your wonderful day. Today, no American and no South African can feel complacency about the rule of law and constitutionalism in either of our countries. In both our countries, the law faces very grave challenges. President Ramaphosa's predecessor, Zuma, is on trial for gross acts of looting, state capture, and corruption. He threatens to bring down the legal system to evade a reckoning with justice. Worse, many of my country's institutions have been hollowed out by systematic criminality. Violent crime is frighteningly high. Inequality, dispossession, marginalization, and like in your country, racism are still rife. Yet, as South Africans, we retain sound reason to be hopeful. Our hope lies in the mechanisms, the rights, the values, and the aspirations of Mandela's constitution. Mandela decried the degradation and injustice that apartheid law inflicted on South Africans, but he retained an abiding belief in turning the law into a force for good. He believed that law should be used to secure people's dignity, to sustain their humanity, and to create conditions in which all can flourish. In both our countries, there is a gigantic struggle about the role of the law. Right now, as you enter the profession today, your task as young lawyers is as exciting as it is challenging. You can help ensure a beneficial role for the law, one that means the law is not used to secure narrow privilege and domination, but rather that the law offers dignity and humanity and opportunity for everyone. That is a life project and a life's work that is a richly worthwhile undertaking. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Cameron, for this powerful message. Let's give another round of applause for our very special honorary degree recipient, the Honorable Justice Edwin Cameron. It is now time to celebrate our graduates. President Roki, today we recognize the December 2020 graduates and honor the students who are candidates for the May and August 2021 Juris Doctor degree, the LLM in Advocacy, the LLM in Elder Law, the LLM in International Law, the dual degrees, and the Master of Jurisprudence in Healthcare Compliance degree. We anticipate that all candidates listed in the graduation program will meet the requirements for their respective degrees. As such, I ask that you prospectively confer their degrees on them. All graduates, please stand. After President Roki, Dr. Jocinda Hudson and Associate Dean Bent will come to read the names of the graduates. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Alexandre. By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Stetson University, pursuant to the charter granted by the state of Florida, I pronounce you graduates of Stetson University and confer upon you all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. Graduates, please come forward as your name is called.
Good afternoon. It is our pleasure to present to you the Spring 2021 Juris Doctor degree candidates. Jasmine Rashawn Matier. Certificate of Concentration in Social Justice Advocacy and Dean's Excellence Award. Brianna Mayers, Certificate of Concentration in Business Law. Felix George Jamal McBroom IV, Honors Program. Alexandra Sheehan McCormick. Megan Ann McKinley. Ryan Patrick McKinney. Jennifer A. McLeod, in absentia. Madeline Sarah McConaughey. Wilma Faye Metcalf. Honors Program, American Law Institute CLE Scholarship and Leadership Award. Melissa Gina Messeri, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy. James Whitelaw Middleton II, in absentia, JD MBA. Joseph William Mikazuski.
Marissa Rose Milazzo. Christina Elise Millard. The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by her father, Robert A. Miller, a 1993 graduate of the College of Law. Chelsea Chantel Miller, Certificate of Concentration in Environmental Law. Mariah Lynn Miller. Christina Espy, Mitchelson, Certificate of Concentration in Elder Law, Matthew Bender Elder Law Book Award. The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by his grandfather, Al Lopez Jr., a 1970 graduate of the College of Law, and his cousin, Benjamin Lopez, a 2015 graduate of the College of Law, Bryant Mondor. Mark Morris. Mason Mueller. Richard L. Nato Jr. in absentia. Francesca Bonet Nauman. Victor O. Whaley Award. Lyra Nadreau. The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by his father, the Honorable Edward Nicholas, a 1987 graduate of the College of Law. Stephen Nicholas Honors Program. Sydney L. Nix in absentia. Mary Alexis Norberg.
Kelsey Viola Norman, Certificate of Concentration in Social Justice Advocacy. Ashley Bridget Norris. Patrick Lawrence O'Hara. Michael Allen O'Quinn Jr. Boy Elijah Osteen IV. Christopher Andrew Odgers. The Edward D. Foreman Most Distinguished Student Award. Vanessa Del Carmen Olivares Velez, JD MBA. LeBron Clifton Page. Our next graduate's late father, Anthony Pinella, was a 1982 graduate of the College of Law. Carly Jordan Pinella. National Association of Women's Lawyers Outstanding Student Award. Jessica D. Parrish, Certificate of Concentration in Social Justice Advocacy. Melanie Yael Petrich. The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by his grandfather, David Kurland, a 1970 graduate of the College of Law, Drew Kurland Patterson. Javier Enrique Pareda. Congrats.
Jasmine Persinos Storm. Bailey Peterson, Certificate of Concentration in Social Justice Advocacy. Zachary Pincus in absentia. Allison K. Pino. Lydia Ann Plotz. Lindsay Palega. Dale R. Porter III. Austin Powell, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy. Colleen Powell. Megan Powell, National Order of Scribes Award. The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by his sister, Allison Preston, a 2018 graduate of the College of Law. Grant S. Preston. Indira Ramnarine. Destiny Rawls, Certificate of Concentration in Social Justice Advocacy. Megan Casey Ray. Samantha Ann Nowak Regala, Certificate of Concentration in Environmental Law. Shelby Reinwald. Christina Noel Rainey, Certificate of Concentration in Business Law. Luke Edward Richardson. Corey John Roberts, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy, Michael P. Allen Award for Excellence and Professionalism. Naomi Rowena Robertson. Please join us in congratulating all of our graduates.
Commencement is the best and proudest part of the year. It is our deepest honor and joy to see our students develop from first-year law students to seasoned legal minds and soon to be attorneys. Families, supporters, and friends, you are there. And when our students needed you most, You supported them. So give yourself a round of applause. Our staff and faculty serve as teachers, mentors, and role models. They demonstrate the values of leadership and service, and they serve as an inspiration to all of us. Graduates, Stetson is a community dedicated to excellence. Stetson University College of Law was founded in 1900. We know that you will follow more than a century of traditions as lawyers and leaders who are committed to the rule of law, who transform society, who represent the values of your law school, your university, and our profession. Today, we celebrate you. And from today forward, we are proud to call you graduates and alumni of the Stetson University College of Law. Please stand one more time. Turn your tassel from the right to the left of your tent as we acknowledge Class of 2021. When you go to celebrate and have dinners and everything good, I hope, please thank again everyone who helped you become a graduate of Stetson University College of Law. Congratulations. After the recession has concluded, we kindly ask that you meet your party and exit safely and swiftly to the parking lot. We have cherished this time with you and hope that you all remain safe. See you soon.